of moving people from their land to pave way for coal mining, Mr. Speaker, without a title deed. It's very difficult for somebody to stand firm and negotiate or say, Mr. Speaker, I'm not interested in my land being worked on when they don't have ownership. Mr. Speaker, it's either in the spirit and in line with this liberalization program, Mr. Speaker, we look into another simpler way of owning land. Maybe a chief somewhere giving me a note that can indicate and can be valid to indicate that I own this land. But in the same spirit, Mr. Speaker, I know we can have enough money and first allocate money and fast track land ownership in this country. Mr. Speaker, in many areas of, especially in the coast, you find absentee landlords, Mr. Speaker. Said Sheikh somewhere in Oman, owns some land in Africa, or some land in Mombasa for several years, and Kenyans around him are not owning land. They have no even a piece of a title deed, Mr. Speaker. They don't know how a title deed looks, Mr. Speaker. I think we need to highlight, and the first bullet on this issue of liberalization should be every Kenyan in some measurable lifespan, timeline should be in a position to be given a title deed to show ownership of their land, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm also looking at the element of areas where we have big chunks of land owned by the government or the county governments. If we can look into ways of government, and especially the county government or the Ministry of Agriculture or Livestock, putting in infrastructure to help people living around this land to exploit in terms of farming. Mr. Speaker, I'm looking at irrigation schemes. I'm looking at, Mr. Speaker, water points for pastoralists, Mr. Speaker, because we have huge chunks of land which cannot be utilized. Reason their social amenities and also infrastructure, electricity, roads, security, Mr. Speaker. Even some of these areas, the North Rift, Mr. Speaker, Northeastern Province, some parts of Eastern Province in Ukambane, if, Mr. Speaker, we can have the government coming in, provide some basic infrastructure which will enable the farmers and the livestock farmers and also crop farmers, Mr. Speaker, to have a way of utilizing the land, although the land is being held by the government, but as long as the land is owned by the government, Mr. Speaker, a farmer adjacent to that farm can have a way of using the land to get Mr. Speaker, some crops or livestock activities, Mr. Speaker.
Not the issue of diseases and what have you, so we need to manage our land. There is the issue of title deeds. I know there is something good which is being done in the Ministry of Lands, but those who have not gotten their title deeds, there is need to speed up so that people can access loans in banks and they can develop their land. Also, there is the issue of land which is owned by foreigners. One case in point at the tea estates in Nandi County. We need to repart back when the leases end so that it comes back to the original owners, not just the free, but they pay so that they can utilize their land well, so that the high index of poverty in our land can be reduced. So I support this motion, and we need to manage our land well, because land is life, land is a source of life, land is everything to us. And for us,
management of land. And Mr. Speaker, as we talk, there are issues to do with riparian. Mr. Speaker, riparian, before one even constructs, there are so many processes that one is supposed to undergo. And there are so many authorities which are supposed to give permission for one to construct. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to environmental issues, there is NEMA. When it comes to land issues, there is the ministry. When it comes to construction, there is the National Construction Authority. And Mr. Speaker, all these agencies are supposed to contribute for one to be given permission to construct. Mr. Speaker, it is sad to see that one has been given an authority to construct, and then after the change of offices, after several years, he finds himself that whatever he has constructed or has invested in is supposed to be demolished. I think the best way is to come with a policy that would follow each and every person who gave
for obvious reasons, the question is not going to be put for noting, but I call for the next order.
Committee of the Whole House. Order number 11, Committee of the Whole House.
Order members, we are now dealing with the Committee of the Whole House on the County Government Retirement Scheme Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2018. Members will be attentive because we'll be moving pretty fast. Okay.
Clause number 3.
I propose a question which is clause 3, be part of the bill. And that one we don't have an amendment, so I put the question which is at clause 3 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Propose the question which is at clause 4 be part of the bill. Honorable Chair. Honorable Limo. We are doing clause 4.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I hereby move that clause 4.2 of the bill be amended by deleting the word lending appearing in paragraph D and substituting with the word investing. Yeah, just a justification for this is that lending is contrary to the RBA Act and therefore is not allowed.
So I propose a question which is at clause 4 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Chair of the Committee, Honorable Limo. And I give 2 members. I see Honorable Rosanna Passaris. Honorable Nyikal, as usual.
Chair, I support this amendment. If you left the word lending, it would sound like this is an institution that is on some form of bank. So I think this put it where it belongs. I support.
Here, so I put the question which is at clause 4 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it, and I put the question which is at clause 4 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
I propose the question which is at clause 5 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 5 of the bill be amended by inserting the word county immediately after the words public officer. This is to make clarification that this particular bill seeks to establish a scheme for county government public officers and not any other, so to make it more clear.
And so I propose the question which is at clause 5 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Limo. I put the question which is at clause 5 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I put the question which is at clause 5 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
I propose the question which is at clause 6 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 6 be amended as per the order paper, but with a further amendment to subclause 2F.
Well, where is the further amendment?
The further amendment.
Or this one, yes.
Yes, yes. There is a further amendment to subclause 2F, and an addition to...
You move clause 6 first.
Yes.
Then you move the further amendment so that you can make it clear, so that there would be
all right.
clarity in the further amendment,
All right.
especially.
All right. Yeah, so, Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 6 be amended as per the order paper. This is actually to give a list of the makeup of the board of trustees, which is a representation of the Ministry of Devolution, together with the Council of Governors, together with the county assemblies. So this is the justification for this is to have a more representative board of trustees, Mr. Chair, as listed on the order paper. It's a very long list.
I am wondering whether to treat this as a further amendment, because you are the same person who is moving the amendment. So to me, it looks like it would be just an amendment, because you see you are the owner of the... You are adding something, so it's only for the members to be up to speed with this other new amendment that you are adding, so that we can deal with both of them at one go. I think that would be fine. So you are through, Honorable Limo? So I propose the question.
Yes, sir, I'm through. I do not get you. Do I move some addition? Because
that is the...
You know, I'm not moving as per the order paper.
Now, I know it's not by the order paper.
In an amended form.
Because I'm looking at it as an amendment by you. So even, you see, we had not really, a further amendment would be by someone else in my thinking. So because it's yours, I will assume that that is the amendment. And then, you know, dispose with it as one. So maybe you can justify the issue of this, what you are calling the further amendment. You make the justification, which I think you did, because you are saying you are now bringing in the Council of Governors, you are bringing in the County Assembly.
Yes.
Yes, so...
And I'm also, you know, we was looking at the representatives of the County Assembly. There were fewer than the executive. At the same time, the way of appointing the representatives of the County Assembly Service Boards was not clear. And therefore, if you look at the further amendment, it's only to provide for a way where the Council of Governors will call a meeting, the first meeting where they will elect the representatives. And also, for the county assemblies, we are providing that the Speaker of the Senate shall convene a first meeting so that they can have a way of choosing their representatives. Yes, that's it.
Honorable Limo.
Yes.
This is not a further amendment at all.
Yeah.
You had another amendment. Now, probably you just dropped this amendment, which I think you have, right? So we simply deal with this as an amendment, and which you have done and justified.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So on record, you say that you have dropped this one and substituted it with this one we are seeing.
Yes.
That would be fine, the one in circulation.
Actually, yes.
I think that is a position.
Yes, so we are dropping the amendment and replacing with this new amendment, which provides for a more representative County Assembly Service Board, and at the same time showing the way they will be elected by the Speaker of the Senate calling the first meeting and the Council of Governors calling the first meeting.
Very well.
Yes.
So I propose the question which is at clause 6 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo.
A.
Yeah.
So perhaps for clarity,
correct.
Can we dispose of A, then move to B and C separately?
Why would we need to do that, Honorable Kimunya?
Or just
why don't we are substituted that specific one on A, isn't it?
Exactly.
Then the rest of the thing remains the same. So if you contribute as a whole.
No,
so he's simply removing, he's dropping the first bit.
Yes. That's what I wanted to just for record.
Yes.
That in fact it's A is substituted.
That's but B. Your vote, you will vote on all of them as the A is the one which has been substituted, and the remaining two, B and C. So, Honorable Kimuguchi, you want to speak to this one?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, first, I support the amendment. Secondly, I think it makes it much clearer as to who will be the nominating bodies for the representatives of the county governors council and the boards. So I support the amendment.
Okay. I probably will modify the rules that we normally give only 2 members and give an additional 2 quickly. Honorable Nyenze and Honorable Danita Gatti in that order. Quickly, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I start by supporting the amendments, but I have just one question on the constitution of the Board of Trustees. I can see the last sentence say, includes the Chief Executive Officer, who should be appointed as a secretary. But if I count the number of Board of Trustees, it's like it's coming to 10 members instead of 9. They are supposed to be a maximum of 9 members of trustees. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Gatti.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I want to say that I support the amendment. And Mr. Chair, I remember at first reading, I think we must have been during first reading, where I felt that it is extremely representative. But Chair, I think I had also brought in an amendment. I had expressed a desire to bring in an amendment at this stage to basically look at the issue of representation, and especially looking at of a representative from the community, that is people with disabilities, simply because, Mr. Speaker, with the advent of devolution, obviously we are talking about counties, Mr. Speaker, and therefore we are realizing that even as a composition like this, we have so many of other persons with disabilities who basically form our counties, Mr. Speaker. And I had actually suggested to brought in and suggested to have a representation there, Mr. Speaker, of the community that is people with disabilities within our counties, even one, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, and I don't know where the committee.
You know, I'm at a loss, Honorable Gatti. I probably would be very sympathetic with your position and your argument. The only problem is that in absence of any amendment, that becomes a problem. But let's hear from the leader of majority, then we dispose of it.
Chair, I really want to ask my good sister that we are not anchoring in law. We are only saying representatives. So from here, when this law comes into force, the various bodies can now look at people. There might even be two people with a disability. So don't worry, the law will take care of it.
Okay, well, of course, obviously the leader majority, it would have been neater if it was specified, but still, you have indicated, and probably that is those representatives can include diverse types of people, the age, the youth, and the rest. But sometimes, so let me put the question, and honorable members, as I put the question, I hope you understand that there is nothing that we are considering as a further amendment. What is in circulation is just an amendment that has been used to modify what would have been A. The rest remain the same. So I put the question, which is at clause 6, be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I put the question, which is at clause 6, as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 7.
Clause 14 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 14 of the bill be amended by deleting the word fund and substituting with the word scheme. The justification is that this is an establishment of a scheme, not a fund. Therefore, we are only cleaning up.
Fairly straightforward. So I propose the question, which is at clause 14, be amended as proposed by the Honorable Limo. I put the question, which is at clause 14, be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I put the question, which is at clause 14, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 15, 16, and 17.
I propose a question which is at clauses 15, 16, and 17 be part of the bill. And I put the question which is at clauses 16, 17, and 15, 16, and 17 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 18.
Propose a question which is as clause 18 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo?
Yes. Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 18 be amended by deleting the word masters appearing in paragraph B and deleting paragraph D. The justification for this is that the requirement for masters really is so high. We only require a degree, and if we don't do this, it goes contrary to the Mwongozo guidelines, where it only requires the first degree for one to qualify as a CEO, and therefore we propose to delete masters requirement.
Okay, so I propose a question which is that clause 18 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Okay, Honorable Amalwa.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Of course, I do agree in line with the Mwongozo guidelines, but it was master's degree. So you are leaving that degree. I wish you had replaced bachelor's degree. You know, when you say a degree, it must be specified, and which is actually critical. Degree, it can be, yeah. So you should have said maybe bachelor's degree. And deleting D, Honorable Limo, you did not justify the justification of deleting that D. You only explained in terms of A. So the B, where you said deleting paragraph D, why don't you give the justification? Please, thank you.
Well, I think, of course, yours is very convincing, but just wondering aloud without entering into the foray of the arguments. You are a PhD holder, Honorable Wamalwa. What would you call this PhD, the PhD? Isn't it a degree? How do you get it other than having gotten a degree somewhere first? Yeah? Mm.
And a bachelor's degree.
You have 3 degrees.
Absolutely. So you
now, you can't get the other one without this other one, isn't it? But anyway, I really don't, I'll finalize it to the leader of majority. Let me give Honorable Serone. Honorable Serone, you want to speak to this one?
No.
Oh, okay, Honorable Leader of Majority.
Chair, I totally agree with the Honorable Omalwa. It is law, and Mr. Chairman, this law is new. We are not saying there is an existing law that had a bachelor's degree. So if we remove
a bachelor's degree, then you close out masters and PhD. My thinking. But I'm just trying to ask you members to think aloud. Is it that if you want to make an amendment, you must be specific, like say a bachelor's degrees, or because otherwise you end up looking. But let's hear the leader minority. I want you to read, please, members, as the leader of minority speaks, kindly read that bit so that you look at any amendment whether you are going to prejudice.
It reads, if you delete masters,
yes,
then it says holds a degree from a university recognized in Kenya.
Mm.
And I think that is perfect.
Yes.
Actually, that is
where the problem is, Honorable Leader of Minority, is if you specify a bachelor's degree.
No, we don't have to put
then if you do, you probably now lock out the rest.
Exactly.
So I don't think the Honorable Limo would want to, once you remove it, I think a degree would be fine. Right? Well, and again, I'm also trying to imagine what a bachelor's degree is, because otherwise it would just be an undergraduate. What is it, Honorable Nyikala, as you finalize on this?
No, Chair,
you have several degrees yourself, so it's better.
I'm just agreeing vehemently, because if you say a degree, then you have open to anybody who has any degree, and that is exactly what we want. If you put a bachelor, you close out all others.
Correct.
And then D, I think it's important that we remove D, because once you say it with a degree, it may not be in a profession that is regulated. So I don't see why you need to bring that one in. So I do support the amendments.
Honorable members, unless there is an amendment on the floor, I will only be handling with one. I will be only handling one. So the rest, you know, I only deal with the things that you bring. So I will put the question, Honorable Nyikal. You are free to vote one way or the other. It is there. That's what I'm saying. So there is no amendment. You are supporting. You are supporting. So I put the question, which is at clause 18, be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I put the question, which is as clause 18, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 19, 20, 21, and 22.
Propose the question, which is at clause 19 through to 22, be part of the bill. And I put the question, which is at clause 19 through to 22, be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 23.
Propose the question, which is at clause 23, be part of the bill. Honorable Limo. Honorable Limo, we are doing 23.
No amendment.
There's no amendment 23.
23. From my record, it shows that there is an amendment, unless there is something which is not clear somewhere. Look at 23. Even can you check page 1211, please, honorable members? We have to be very meticulous, so we will not rush. We must be sure that there was or there wasn't an amendment. There is amendment as far as we are concerned, unless the chair wants to drop it.
No. Yeah, Mr. Chair, I propose that the bill be amended by inserting the following new subsection immediately after subsection 1, that 1A, the administrator shall be an employee of the board. This will provide for the opportunity that the scheme will only be administered by an internal administrator, so that there will be no room for external administration of the fund, which is more expensive. All right?
Well, then, Honorable Minority Leader, which one is this that you are saying that there was no amendment? Maybe you have a different order paper, so that I can ask the orderlies to supply you with one.
Yeah,
you know, you are a very important and critical member of the House.
Yeah, I apologize, Professor, but I think you can still do me some favor by asking the orderlies to give me the supplementary order paper.
Yes.
Because what I have is a historical order paper.
That one is actually ordered, because you cannot be the leader of minority there, and you do not have the...
With fake news.
Okay, so I propose a question which is at clause 23 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. I see two members want to speak to it, Honorable Mwambire and Gumbao. So I proceed to put the question which is at clause 23 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? Ayes have it. I put the question which is at clause 23 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 24.
Propose a question which is at clause 24 be amended, be part of the bill. Honorable Limo.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 24 of the bill be amended by deleting clause 3 and substituting thereof with the following new subclause, that subject to such guidelines as the board may issue, in consultation with the members and sponsors of the scheme, a member of the scheme may make additional contributions to the scheme, and deleting subclause 4. The justification for this is to allow the board to consult with the members and sponsors when issuing guidelines, and in a case where members wish to make additional contributions, they are free to do so. This is giving some flexibility so that if members want to contribute more, they will be free to do so.
Very well. So I propose a question which is at clause 24 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo.
Mr. Chair, but for B, deleting subclause B. Can you justify?
Okay,
what
makes
are you
sense.
deleting and what's the importance
Makes sense.
of that?
Proceed, Honorable Limo, and justify the second one, B. I can see members are really interested in it. So it's good that they get some clarity from you.
Yeah, I think accordingly, Mr. Chair. Yeah, Mr. Chair. Is it subclause 4?
Yeah.
Subclause 4, Honorable Limo.
Or deleting subclause 4. All right. All right, subclause 4 is in the bill is saying that all contributions to the scheme by members and sponsors shall be reduced by the amounts of the contribution to NSSF by and in respect to the members. You see, this one, you know, this particular subclause is actually saying that when you are contributing, the amount which you contribute to the NSSF is going to be considered when you are contributing to this scheme. We thought that was going to be disadvantage to the members. Because, you know, when you are a member, what you are contributing to the scheme is for your benefit, really. It is for your benefit. And therefore, when you refer to NSSF again, you know, it becomes disadvantage to the members. And therefore, we are seeing like it is unnecessary. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, since I had proposed a question, I will give Honorable Nyikal the floor. And I think I will remove Honorable Mwambire and Gumbao because he doesn't seem to be in the house. Are you in the house? Only one.
Okay.
Because we have 2 and we have 3.
Okay.
3 is the one which starts with the spike subsection 1. Actually, where the problem is that there was even reference to subsection 1, which was not existing. So I think I will propose a question which is that clause 26 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. I put the question which is at clause 26 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it, and I put the question which is at clause 26 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 27.
Propose the question which is at clause 27 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, I propose that clause 27(2) of the bill be amended by deleting paragraph D. That particular paragraph, Mr. Chair, it is something to do with proving the age, and therefore we do not want the board to have discretion of proving the age of an individual. Because the age of an individual is obvious, it's clear on the identification documents, and therefore, at the discretion of the board as to acceptance, a written declaration of the date of birth by the member on first appointment is not necessary.
Okay, so I propose a question which is at clause 26 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. 27, sorry, not 26, 27. I put the question which is at clause 27 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it, and I put the question which is at clause 27 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And the members who are going out of the chamber, please do not interrupt the chair's view of yes, let's proceed. No, out of order. Proceed.
Clause 28.
I propose a question which is as clause 28 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo.
Which is this view that is distracting you?
All right, Mr. Chair, I propose that clause 28(2) of the bill be amended by deleting paragraph D. It is actually the same as the one I've just proposed, where we are removing the discretion of the board in proving the age of a member.
Very well. So I propose a question which is at clause 28 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. I put the question which is at clause 28 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The question which is at clause 49 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Yes, what is it, Honorable TJ of Ruaraka?
I've got my voice when now Honorable Limo is talking about sentencing. Mr. Chairman, because I can be sentenced anytime I may be sentenced by virtue of this legislation. You know, I think we need to have some type of order in sentencing in Kenya. Because, Mr. Chairman, the thinking of the committee looks like 5 million is as punitive sentence as 2 years. But before, 500,000 was being equated to 3 years. There is need for some policy on proportional harmonization. And I think whereas I may not, it is too late now to start going back, perhaps the chair should think, you know, this 5 million goes to 1 million, and then for a term not exceeding 2 years or both. Because the principle of law is that if you are in doubt, you'd rather go for the lesser sentence than to go for the higher sentence, which in the view of legislators may not be the harmonization that we want in terms of punitive measures in this country.
Well, okay. In clause 48, actually, the offense here was actually being fined 5 million or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years or both. And it is actually the same bill. So we are harmonizing the 49 to 48. So we are actually like saying we cannot now, when you reach 49, we go to 500 and 3 years.
At section 48,
yes,
which we have already passed,
yes,
what is it indicating? Because that is good for members to understand. It's talking about 5 million or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years,
2 years,
or both.
Yes.
Now, what is this proposal you are making?
We are making to do the same on 49, because 49 was proposing like 500,000 or 3 years.
Okay.
Yes. So we are putting 5 years and 2 years to be in line with 48.
You are talking about 5 million and 2 years.
Yes.
That is what the amendment is.
Yes.
So I believe the members, honorable member, leader minority.
Yes.
And,
I think, Chairman.
So I think the members are clear on that.
Yeah. Chairman, you were just picking it up on I wanted just to support his argument, because if we are past 48, and for almost similar offenses, if you are going to either sentence someone to 5 million fine or 2 years or both, then it should follow in under clause 49 that the same sentence, similar, 5 million, 2 years. So we do away with 500,000, 3 years.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, what is it, Honorable?
I still think that at some point, I think this bill must have passed me. It is one of those that we should have put an amendment on. But I think at some point, Leader of Majority, it would be good to have a bill which tries to harmonize as much of this sentencing as possible. Because, you see, the thing is, what will happen here, in the case of a natural, in case of a person who is not a natural person, meaning like a company will be fined 5 million. Now witness what will happen to a person who is a natural person. He must go to prison for a term. There is no opportunity for a fine. This is what this legislation will say. In other words, it is punitive. You must suffer a custodial sentence. There is no opportunity for a fine. You see how punitive it is. So it is a double but it looks like water which has passed down the bridge. I think there is necessity to bring, to harmonize this, this legislation.
That I'm sure the leader has had, and there are many other avenues, you know, as you know, Honorable TJ makes. I will put the question and then we will sort out the rest later. So I put the question which is that clause 49 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, and I put the question which is at clause 49 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Clauses 50 and 51.
I propose a question which is at clauses 50 and 51 be part of the bill. And I put the question which is at clause 50 and 51 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 52.
I propose a question which is at clause 52 be part of the bill. And it looks to me, be deleted, sorry. Be deleted. So proceed, Honorable Limo, and justify.
Why you're deleting?
Yes. Yes, Honorable Chair, I propose that the bill be amended by deleting clause 52. Clause 52 was providing the phasing out of contribution by members of the members of staff who were previously working for the national government and transferred to the county government. So it was phasing out to give them some advantage. And we found that this is discriminatory, and we were proposing to delete it so that everyone contributes in the same manner, regardless of whether you are transferred from the national government, or you are newly employed, or you are in the county councils.
Okay. Yeah. So I put the question which is at clause 52 be deleted. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I have proposed, this is a deletion. So I propose that this will be deleted. This is different from when we are proposing an amendment.
Clause 53.
I propose the question which is at clause 53 be deleted. Honorable Chair. Let me ask Chair, is that a proposed deletion? Check it properly.
Yeah.
Is it a deletion?
Yes. What?
Because if it's not a deletion,
what?
From my records here, it looks like a deletion. So what? It seems it is not, Honorable Limo. So let me propose a question which is at clause 53 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo, proceed.
We are making a further amendment. It's an amendment.
Yes, proceed.
All right.
I have proposed the
Honorable
question.
Chair, I propose that the bill be amended in clause 53 by inserting the following subsection immediately after subsection 2. That subsection 3, Lab Trust Umbrella Retirement Fund Trust Deed and rules registered under the Retirement Benefit Authority Act are revoked. If you look at the bill the way it is, it is proposing to repeal Lab Fund and revoking Lab Trust, which was a different fund, and now we are adding this particular one. The reasoning is that at the commencement of this bill, later, of course, without anticipating debate, these particular old funds will be closed in transition for 5 years. And therefore, this particular clause 53 then will come into effect then, because all of them will be either repealed or revoked.
Okay, so I propose a question which is at clause 53 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Yeah. Honorable Leader, majority.
I think, Chair, what the Finance Committee are trying to tell us, which I agree with them, is that the current 53 in the bill is one is repealing the Kenya, the Local Authority Provident Fund, and then the Local Authority Pension Trust rules, those are revoked. And because these institutions carry resources of workers, and even assets and liabilities. So I hope as we move forward, he is going to create a transitional period. If it is 5 years, I think he has suggested in his amendment 5 years, so that within 5 years, the restructuring process must begin the moment this bill comes into effect. The moment it is sent by the president, then the restructuring and the combining of these two different funds must take place within a certain transitional period.
Very well. Honorable Kibunguchi.
Mine was just a worry. Now we have deleted section 52 and 53. And the bill therefore goes to, the next one would be 54. Are we then moving everything upwards so that 54 becomes 53? Or what? It's just, I'm just concerned about that. Because you have repealed 52, you have repealed 53. And then in the bill, then the next one is 54. Yeah, the renumbering, that's what I mean, yes.
Yes. 53 is not deleted.
53 is deleted.
No. That one is amended. What was deleted was 52.
Well,
so
then I have the old
I think that's okay. Where the problem is. There is a supplementary order paper. And what happens, Honorable Kibunguchi, as you are aware, you know, you are a seasoned politician yourself, a legislator rather, because politician is for outside here. As a legislator, you know, if you delete a particular clause, the numbering is automatic. Because you cannot, for example, if you delete 52, then it means this 53 will be getting to 52. Because that is, it will have to be renumbered. Okay, so what is it, Honorable Dr. Nyikal?
I just want to be educated a bit. I didn't take part in the earlier discussions. Now, 53 has revoked and repealed, and there's a transition. Can I be assured that the transition involves the assets as well? That is all I may want to know. The transition that is coming, does it involve assets as well? Because I know we'll just go through them.
Maybe just a short clarification, Honorable Chair, and then we will be through that particular question by Honorable Nyikal.
All right. On
whether it involves the assets as well.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, Honorable Chair, maybe just without anticipating debate, what Honorable Nyikal is asking about the transition is actually the transition normally is a very elaborate process which touches on liabilities together with assets, and it will be covered later. You will find that there will be another clause which will come on transition, how the transition will happen. And therefore, there will be no worry because, you know, all those
very well.
Assets
very,
will
very
be
well.
taken
So
care
I
of.
proceed to put the question, which is at clause 54, 53, be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, and I put the question which is at clause 53 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 54.
I propose a question which is at clause 54 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo.
All right, Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 54 of the bill be amended by deleting the word shall and substituting thereof with the word may. This is, the justification for this is to allow members to have leeway to either contribute to Tier 1 of NSSF or even go to Tier 2. Because, you know, when you say shall, it is a must. Now we are removing shall and replacing with may to create some discretion on the options.
Okay, looking fairly straightforward. So I propose a question which is at clause 54 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. I see no particular interest, so I put the question which is at clause 54 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it, and I put the question which is at clause 54 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 55.
Propose the question which is at clause 55 be part of the bill. I put the question which is at clause 55 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 56.
I propose the question which is at clause 56 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo.
All right. Honorable Chair, I propose that the bill be amended in clause 56 by deleting subsection 2 and substituting thereof with the following new paragraphs. That the local authorities provident fund, the local authorities pension trust, the local authorities pension trust fund as a defined benefits scheme, and the local authorities pension trust umbrella retirement fund shall on the commencement date remain closed funds to new entrants and shall ensure the preservation of all accrued rights of members. Under 3, subject to the subsection 2, the closed fund shall continue paying any pensions and benefits as and when they fall due for a maximum period of 5 years from the commencement date. And 4, the provisions of section 54A shall apply to any pension and benefits which shall not have been paid out of the closed funds at the end of the 5th year from the date of commencement date. And Honorable Chair, B, by renumbering the existing subsection 3 to subsection 5. And C, inserting the following new subclause immediately after clause 5. Clause 6, the State Corporation Advisory Committee shall within 5 years from the commencement of this act ensure implementation of this section. What this particular clause is talking about, Mr. Chair, is that you see currently we have pension funds which are being managed differently, which covers employees in the county assemblies and the county governments. Now, at the commencement of this bill, we have actually suggested that these funds will continue running during transition period, but to a maximum of 5 years. And during that period, they shall be paying the people who will be exiting, but they will not be allowed to recruit new members, so that any new employees employed by county governments will join the new scheme directly, so that the new scheme will be only running, but after 5 years, all of them will be closed, and they will be managed by the transition clause, which we'll look at it later at 54A.
I am, now, oh yes, at 54A. So I will propose a question,
I propose that clause 57 of the bill be amended by inserting the words subject to section 55 immediately before the words any eligible employee and numbering subclause 4 as 2. This is a cleanup, Honorable Chair, because this particular clause is dependent on clause 55. Hence, the need to mention it in clause 57.
Very well, fairly straightforward. So I propose a question which is at clause 57 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. I put the question which is at clause 57 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I put the question which is at clause 57 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say no? The ayes have it.
New clauses. New clause 54A.
Okay. Chair, move second reading of the new clause.
All right, Honorable Chair, I propose that new clause 54A is read the second time. Yeah, this particular new clause, Honorable Chair, is actually the transitional clauses which you are talking about. Yes, so where Honorable Njikal was worried how the funds, the assets and liabilities of these, the existing funds will be transitioned. So this particular new clause 54A is actually going to be implemented after at least within 5 years when the transition will take effect. And it will indicate how it will help in operationalizing the new scheme and closing the old schemes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I propose a question which is that new clause 54A be now read a second time. Honorable Manzo, want to speak to this one?
Sorry, Chair, I've just come in.
And
I'm waiting for the next one, Mr.
And why did you place your card? When you are not ready, but it's okay. So let's see Honorable Gadhuri Murungi.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, actually, these are good crosses, transitional crosses, but I hope the transition will be run smoothly, because moving from this trust fund, which has a lot of liabilities, assets, and now going to the new scheme, whoever will implement this should be very careful indeed, because that is where actually a lot of funds are lost and a lot of very funny deals happen during that transition. So I want to support these clauses. They are well put, but at least caution shouldn't be taken when the transition is done.
Okay, Honorable Minority Leader.
Yeah, Chair, I also want to argue in the same line, except that I think the biggest problem that we'll have is where the amounts are still owing to these schemes, especially by the sponsors. And I think some strategy needs to be developed so that we don't transfer to this new scheme what is considered as assets in the books, but may not be realized. So I don't know how this is going to be addressed, but it's a very serious concern, because when you get the facts from these schemes, you realize that many sponsors are owing money to these schemes. So that needs to be addressed as we go within the 5 years window, or even earlier. But I'm happy that now there is severe penalty in future for those who are going to default in remitting
Very well. So therefore, I put the question which is at new clause for 54A be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I propose a question which is that the new clause 54A be part of the bill. And at this point, I would give one member or two to contribute. I hear you, Honorable Nyikal.
Yes.
We are now at the point of
Chair,
it being part of the bill.
Chair, I think I support this. This was actually my concern, and my leader has also came to the same. Because, Mr. Chair, this is where a lot of losses occur. When you are moving to an old organization that has assets and liabilities, and you move into a new one, unless you have a transition arrangement, a lot of things are lost. Liabilities can be actually used to kill the new organization, while assets can actually be lost. And I support this without anticipating debate what 58 is going to bring over the 3-4 years. I think what we must do is put very clear structures so that we don't get ourselves into the situation we got with the transition authority.
Okay, Honorable Gatti.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I also want to quickly really thank the Chair of Finance. I think he has extremely tried with this bill. Mr. Chair, my quick probably concern may be just to urge that probably as we transition, we quickly look at the former. I'm still bringing in the issue of these former councillors that really have a lot of money pending, so that we are quickly transitioning to this new scheme, Mr. Chair, that is about to take effect. So if we can just quickly move in and settle their woes so that they are not complaining, Mr. Chair, I think that would be an extremely good. And I really want to thank the member for really taking up the this bill that we have keenly followed, Mr. Chair. I thank you.
Okay. Though, of course, the issue of thanking, unless it's specific to this clause, if it is a general thanks that you are giving, should be reserved for the third, when the third reading is being placed, Honorable Gatti, unless you are anticipating that you will not get an opportunity. So I put the question now, which is that new clause 54A be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 58.
I call, kindly the mover move the second reading of the new clause.
All right, Mr. Chair, I propose that...
you move.
Yeah, I beg to move that new clause 58 be now read the second time.
Very well.
Yeah, this particular clause, new clause 58, is actually to specify that the provisions of section 53 and 54A shall come into effect at the end of 5 years from the commencement date. That means, this will give effect to the transitional clauses.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the purpose of this clause.
So I propose a question which is that new clause 58 be now read a second time. I put the question which is at new clause. What is it, Honorable TJ?
The Chair, let us know when the commencement date. I'm sorry, I don't have the bill in my hands. When is the commencement date? Is it proposed? It has not been proposed?
I had proposed. I have proposed.
I thought it was
I have proposed.
It was almost
I was
going
just
to vote
about to put the question.
He was about to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, so could the Chair let us know when is the commencement date?
When is the commencement date, Honorable Limo? Or do we leave that to the...
5 years.
Why is it very important, Honorable TJ, at this point in time that you know the commencement date?
Confirm that commencement date is on assent.
Very well. I'm sure TJ is satisfied there. So I proceed to put the question, which is that new clause 58 be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I propose the question which is that new clause 58 be part of the bill. I put the question which is that new clause 58 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I think I have. Haven't I? I have. What's out of order, Honorable TJ?
I think there must have been, I think this is just an oversight of legislation. Because even when commencement is on assent, the bill should say so. Just after the enactment formula, then commencement should be by assent. No, clause 2 is interpretation. It cannot be in clause 2. It must be just after the enactment formula.
No, I'm looking at it, TJ, yes. And of course I do appreciate the fact that you are very meticulous in your... If you look at the interpretation clause, I look at the commencement date, means the date of coming into force of this act. But which doesn't give a specific date, really. So even on assent, this I think justifies the fact that it's on assent, there will be this will commence.
we are still there.
You know, I know
Mr.
you.
Chair,
For,
we have
you
not
know, I
even
know you
reached-
for a long time, Honorable TJ, and I know you did not serve in the Attorney General's chamber as a draftsman. I know what you served as. So this particular one.
I am loyal, but we can still make it done because we have not come to long-term, the title of
yes,
the...
I think...
so when we come to the title,
yeah.
or when we come to the short title, the chair should pronounce himself commencement. Commencement is a very important thing in legislation.
Yeah.
So pronounce himself, I think he can relate with the clerks so that commencement is pronounced upon and that we say upon assent.
I think it makes a lot of sense, honestly. Though, again, on the other hand, it is something that can be, an assumption can be made. But, well, you know, we are assuming because the Constitution said it will be, in absence of a specific date, it is on assent. But let me leave that because I really don't want to get engaged into the debate. So we had reached the position of, we are finished about with the new clauses, so we are proceeding to the schedule.
Schedule?
I propose a question which is that the schedule be the schedule of the bill. And I can see the chair, you proposed, did you propose an amendment? Yes, proceed.
Yes. All right, Mr. Chair, I propose that the schedule be amended by deleting section 2 and substituting thereof with the following new paragraph. 2.1. The quorum of a meeting of the board shall be 5 trustees present and voting, provided that at least 2 trustees appointed under section 6B, C, D, E, or F, and at least 2 trustees appointed under section 6G are present. And 2, for special meetings, the quorum shall be 6 trustees present and voting, provided that at least 2 trustees appointed under section 6B, C, D, E, or F, and at least 2 trustees appointed under section 6G are present. In section 5.4, by deleting the word 7 and substituting thereof with the word 2. The justification for this is just to ensure that all the meetings are conducted, are well representative, and for special meetings are also conducted in a manner that is representative, so that you know one group of trustees cannot come and do a meeting. At least we must ensure that every sector of where the membership is drawn from are represented before a meeting starts.
Okay, so I propose a question which is that the schedule be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. And I put the question which is that the schedule be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I put the question which is that the schedule as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And honorable members, in the meantime, as we proceed, because of this issue that Honorable TJ has raised very strongly, if you have the Constitution, you refer to Article 116 of the Constitution, and then you'd realize that once this is done, once there is an assent, the publication must be in the Gazette, unless there is a difference in of the stipulated, unless there is a different date stipulated. It will be upon assent and 7 days on publishing in the Gazette. So I think it really solves our problem. It really solves, so we don't need to create anything else.
Close.
Umbrella retirement fund. The justification for this is to ensure that the definition actually is all-inclusive, and it includes all the the schemes that exist as far as managing the pension for counting pensions currently.
Okay. So I propose a question which is at clause 2 be amended as proposed by Honorable Limo. Then I'll give Honorable Mbadi and Honorable Nyikal.
Mr. Chairman, I was just wondering about this local authorities pension trust defined benefits, whether it still exists, because as far as I'm concerned, the defined benefits had been done away with in 2010 schemes. They were closed, literally. So what is there is that they're just winding up. So in law, they have been closed. It doesn't exist. They're just saying, through a circular, they were done away with. So, you know, when we try to, again, glorify them, glorify a non-existent scheme.
Honorable members, Madam Speaker.
Order. Can we have the chairperson to report?
I thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the County Government Retirement Scheme Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2018, and approved the same with amendments.
With amendments. His reasons, I'm not in a position to put the question, and so I do defer putting the question of the same. So that.
Together with the others not expressly cited, obligate the fund account managers actually to appear before the committee. And that is what exactly I've just explained. Madam Speaker, Section 12.3 of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund, Act number 30 of 2015, provides that the fund account manager shall own the authority to incur expenditure of the funds at the constituency. The fund account managers were therefore invited and were answerable to all the queries. Madam Speaker, there are very key critical issues that we came up with, or that we really got during our deliberations. And some of the key areas of concern which actually is of interest to the members is number A is rate disbursement of funds. The committee observed that some projects which had been budgeted and approved by the NGCDF bond were not implemented during the financial years due to late disbursement of funds by the National Treasury, with the funds being released in the second and third quarters. This greatly compromised efficiency in procurement of goods and services, leading to under absorption of funds. Madam Speaker, after every, the Auditor General is very generous in his report, or in his report, to indicate that actually Kenyans do not get value for money. But the reason that this happens in NGCDF is that the money is not released the way it should. Therefore, you realize that maybe money is reduced during the fourth quarter. And by the time you undergo the fund managers undergo the procurement process, these projects now escalate. They go to the next financial year. So the committee has recommended that the National Treasury expedites the process of quarterly disbursements of funds to the constituencies, to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for timely release to the constituencies. And also, number 2 on the recommendation is that the National Treasury factors an amount of 4.976 billion, 4,976,750,000, which is actually a carryover every financial year, because there is some money from the year 2012 to 2015, which was not released by the bond. And this money still affects the projects every financial year. So we recommend that this money is given to the bond so that the allocations can go as per financial years. The other issue that we got very critical is failure to submit audit information. The committee noted widespread instances of failure or refusal by fund account managers to submit the requisite audit information. This obstructed the work of the Office of the Auditor General and the fund account managers. This delay is occasioned. And the committee on this matter recommends that the fund account managers must comply strictly with the provisions of the Public Audit Act number 34 of 2015. And also the NGCDF bond issues an administrative circular directing fund account managers to comply with the provisions of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the Public Audit Act number 34 of 2015, the Public Finance Management Act number 18 of 2012, and Public Procurement and Bond should also implement these recommendations within 3 months of adoption of this report by the House. Another issue, number 3, which we found cross-cutting, is delays in allocation of bursary and the disbursement of bursaries. The committee observed high incidences of delays in disbursement of bursaries to beneficiary institutions, non-presentation of issued bursary checks to the institutions, and cancellations issued bursary checks. This is an issue, Madam Speaker, which is really cross-cutting. And you realize that sometimes the checks are written to institutions, sometimes the students are in session, and therefore the bond and not up to date give a guideline on how the bursary should be distributed to the schools. And my committee has very good recommendations that the national government NGCDF bond reviews guidelines on issuance of bursaries to enhance efficiency. The national government constituencies development fund fast-track adoption of electronic funds transfer in disbursement of bursaries. And the fund account managers ensures that beneficiary institutions issue acknowledgement documents upon receipt of the bursaries. And on this, we give the NGCDF bond should implement this within 3 months of adoption of this report by the House. Another cross-cutting issue is accuracy of financial statements, whereby the committee observed that fund account managers were experiencing challenges in complying with the international public sector accounting standards reporting, which is commonly known as IPSAS reporting framework. The Public Sector Accounting Standard Board reviews the standards periodically to align them with the emerging accounting standards and practices. So the committee recommended that the fund account managers should comply with the International Public Sector Accounting Standards framework in preparation of financial statements. And also the NCCDF bond, in consultation with the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board, should conduct continuous capacity building on financial reporting standards for constituency staff. That is the fund account managers. Another cross-cutting issue that we came up with is an approved implementation of projects and the reallocation of funds. The committee observed notable instances, Madam Speaker, where fund account managers implemented projects and reallocated funds without seeking prior approval of the bond. And this is contrary to Section 6.2 of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Act number 30 of 2015, which expressly provides that once funds are allocated to a particular project, they shall remain allocated for that project and may only be reallocated for any other purpose during the financial year with the approval of the bond. Additionally, Regulation 54 of the Public Finance Management National Government Regulations 2015 also, Madam Speaker, provides that except as provided for in the Act and these regulations, an accounting officer of an entity may not authorize payment to be made out of funds earmarked for specific activities for purposes other than those activities. Madam Speaker, the committee observed that some projects initiated by Constituency Development Fund committees prior to enactment of NGCDF Act 2015 and which are now categorized as devolved functions remain stoned to date. Therefore, we have recommended that the NGCDF bond to publish a list of 4 incomplete and or stoned projects initiated by the former CDF bond before the enactment of the NGCDF Act 2015. And the bond in consultation with the National Treasury and Planning, Ministry of Planning, and other relevant authorities expedite completion of 4 incomplete or stoned projects. And also the NGCDF bond should adopt and implement electronic monitoring and evaluation systems and tools to monitor projects in the constituencies and have them linked to the electronic national government monitoring and evaluation system. This is not a big thing to do, Madam Speaker, because what the committee is recommending is that the bond should have an electronic system that can synchronize all the projects across the country, wherever they are. Once they are complete, the system will be indicating this project is complete, and this can be linked now to the national electronic national government monitoring and evaluation system, which now will be giving all the projects that the national government is doing across the country. And because of the sensitivity or the urgency of this issue, we recommended that this should be implemented within 3 months after the adoption of this report that we are now discussing. Another cross-cutting issue that we identified as a committee is failure to surrender interest. The committee observed that recovery of outstanding interest was slow, and that some interest remained outstanding since 2015-16, which is a contravention of Regulation 94 of the Public Finance Management Regulation 2015. And the committee recommends that the national government NGCDF bond recovers all outstanding interest from defaulting officers within an interest at the prevailing central bank rate, as provided for under Article 226(5) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Another cross-cutting issue is number G, transfer of assets and liabilities following the splitting of constituencies. The committee noted that constituencies were facing challenges relating to the transfer of assets and liabilities occasioned by the delimiting of constituency boundaries. The committee further observed that following the split of one of the leading counties in Kenya, which has many new constituencies. And when, for example, Ruaraka was hived from, I wanted to catch the attention of Honorable Kajwang, the member for Ruaraka,
Yes,
because the constituency was
Honorable
hived from
Kajwang.
Kasarani.
He has your attention. Yes,
Yes.
he's simply saying that the consultation is too loud, and he wants, because you're informed, because he's talking about your constituency, you
Yeah,
give him your ear.
yes.
Honorable Chair. you
But
can
he's
carry
one
on.
actually of the fund managers who has done very well. I also want to commend his fund manager because
Yes.
they have done quite some good work.
Honorable.
Therefore, when these constituencies were split, the liabilities and assets, you know, the original constituency was supposed to take over actually the assets which were there, any money which was left, so that also they can now share to the projects which fall in other constituencies, for example. And therefore that did not move and go smoothly, according to what we got during our interaction with the fund managers. Therefore, we have recommended that the bond provides a status report to the National Assembly on transfer of assets and liabilities amongst all the constituencies following the delimitation of constituency boundaries. That resulted to the creation of 290 constituencies. And the board, the NGCDF board should implement this recommendation within 6 months of adoption of this report by the House. Another cross-cutting issue is an inadequate support from the national government sub-county treasury in Nairobi City County. Nairobi City County with the 17 constituencies, they have only one district accountant serving all the 17 constituencies. And therefore, it becomes very difficult for the fund managers to get the statements of accounts when they are expecting the auditors, or to get prepared adequately for the auditors. The committee observed that 17 constituencies in Nairobi City County are served by one district accountant, domiciled in the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government. The fund account manager cited challenges in assessing the services of this office, particularly approval of payments and access to documents under the custody of the district Nairobi City County. Another key issue is about engagement of fund account managers by the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Board. Madam Speaker, the committee observed that some fund account managers were deployed to more than one constituency, with others doubling as regional coordinators, thus creating inefficiencies in execution of their functions. And the committee recommends that the board reviews its policy on the renewal of contracts for fund account managers to provide for clearance of outstanding audit queries raised in the reports of the Auditor General in constituencies they engaged prior to effecting any transfers and deployment. And the NGCDF board views existing vacancies to fund accounts managers and regional coordinators, and that the NGCDF board adheres to this deployment policy on the maximum number of years that fund account manager should be engaged in a constituency. And on this one, we recommended that should be implemented within 3 months of the adoption of this reporting by the House. Members can really agree with me as we do our oversight. Sometimes you try to trace your... So we have recommended that all the vacant positions should be filled within the 3 months that we have given, so that every constituency can have an independent fund account manager. And by so doing, the fund will be effectively managed by the fund managers. Another issue, number J, is operations of the national government constituencies development fund bond. The committee observed that the NGCDF bond was not fully constituted as provided under Section 15(1)(e) of the NGCDF Act 2015, which has created challenges in raising quorum to transact business. This has occasionally raised in project approvals and ultimately led to non-implementation of projects, which is subject to audit query and reported low absorption of funds that constituents did not get value for money. And also the current CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the bond, we observed that he was appointed in acting capacity in 2011 and remains acting to date. That is a cool 7 years while the CEO is acting, is working in an acting capacity. And the NGCDF Bond Secretariat was constrained in its human resource capacity to offer the requisite technical support to the 290 constituencies. The Secretariat did not have the capacity to prepare fund account managers for audits and did not offer support to ensure that issues raised in the Auditor General reports are resolved before any next audit cycle. And the bond resolution we also observed that the bond resolution to withhold release of funds to constituencies that and a balance of Kenya shillings 10 million and above in the account affected implementation of projects. This policy was meant to mitigate against cash flow by creating allowable and administrative balances prior to release of funds to constituencies. This is actually a very common issue, Madam Speaker, because the bond has a regulation that once you have more than 10 million, the fund account manager in the constituency has more than 10 million in the constituency account, there is no more money given to the constituency before that money is brought down to less than 10 million. This actually policy has affected so many projects. And maybe you might realize that some of the money, which is getting to 10 million and above, is money given as bursaries. And the institutions actually have not been able to bank the checks during the previous system. Therefore, the committee recommends that the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, and Planning appoints 7 other persons to the NGCDF bond as provided under Section 15, 1E of the NGCDF Act 2015, so that the bond can be fully operational to make decisions pertaining the fund. And the NGCDF bond fills the position of the Chief Executive Officer, who has remained in acting capacity since 2011. And the NGCDF bond restructures its operations to decentralize its services in the regions. In this one, our recommendation was that actually in every county we should have an officer of the bond in that county, because all the fund managers, they have somebody called a coordinator, but that coordinator is also a member of, is also a fund account manager in our constituency. So our recommendation is that for ease of implementation of projects and to ease the problem of traveling all the way to come to the bond to Nairobi, every county, because now we have devolved services to the counties, should have an officer of the bond working for that constituency to help the fund managers and be very effective. So we have recommended that the last one, the NGCDF bond reviews its policy on withholding funds for constituencies with a balance of 10 million and above in the account. And these recommendations we have and active matters in court, which lawyers say matters sub judice.
The Honorable Chairperson, Honorable T.J. Kajwang, the member for Ruaraka, seems to have an intervention.
Madam Chair, we need to put some sugar into this debate. If we go this way, we will all sleep. Is the chair, does he wish that this thing is seconded and becomes a property of the House, looking at the time as it goes? Because if it is not seconded, then this motion will fall. Is he looking at the clock, and does he have a strategy that this thing will be seconded so that it is a property of the House?
Honorable T.J. Kajwang, there's a lot of sugar in the whole thing, as you may call it. I can tell you the members really listen, and the Honorable Chair is still moving his report. And his cognizant.
Yeah, because Madam Speaker, I think my suggestion, my information is that even if I don't finish moving, still I can continue another time to move.
Honorable T.J. Kajwang, I know you even sat where I am sitting now. Even if he doesn't finish moving, he still continue moving. But I know you mentioned Ruaraka, and we must appreciate Ruaraka is one of the, yes, it's 6 minutes to move. I mean, his hours are
even by mentioning Ruaraka, that is more than honey, Honorable Kajwang, TJ.
To move.
It's not only sugar, but the honey. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I will continue moving this motion that we end these investigations, this issue about investigations by Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission.
And in fact, Honorable Chair, for me to clear the doubts by the member, of the Ruaraka,
Yes.
Honorable Kajwang, Honorable Chair, even after 7 p.m., that is the time of closure of the House, you will still have 20 minutes to move. 20 minutes. I know the members really wanted to contribute, but it's important for the chair to move, and it's a very important report. Chair, carry on.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for coming to my rescue. Madam Speaker, the committee observed that a number of ended queries raised in the report of the Auditor General in some constituencies outlined here were either subject to active proceedings, as provided an understanding on 89.2, or under investigations by Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And on these constituencies, Rangata constituency, Embakasi North constituency, Embakasi South constituency, Kamugunji constituency, the committee recommended that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission expedites investigations into these matters and furnishes a status report on the investigations to the National Assembly so that that report also can be adopted. And the national government constituencies, NGCDF Mbund suspends fund account managers and any other office of the Mbund who are under investigations by the EACC until these investigations are completed. And that is the normal practice across the government. Another issue is ineffectiveness of constituency oversight committees. The committee noted that the constituency oversight committees were largely ineffective as a result of underfunding. Regulation 34.4 of the NGCDF Fund Regulations 2016 provides that the constituency oversight committee shall be facilitated in performance of its activities by the funds allocated for monitoring and evaluation, provided that not more than 1% of the allocated funds shall be used for that purpose. The budgetary allocation of 1% cutoff cannot facilitate effective operations by the Constituency Oversight Committee. So the committee recommends that the NGCDF Mbund expedites the process of amending the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Regulations 2016 to amend the apparent facilitation shortfall amongst other aspects of the regulations.
Order the chairperson. The time for moving of your reports is being interrupted by the procedures of the House. And so I do order, Honorable Chairperson, that you will continue moving your reports the next sitting at the most appropriate time, and you will have your 20 minutes to continue with your report. Order, members. Honorable members, the time being 7 p.m., this House stands until the Wednesday, 17th October 2018 at 9:30 a.m. I thank you all.